What is going on YouTube? Joe here with Culination Media, bringing you another episode of the Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask. This is episode number 5, and last time we left off with nothing else to do except go into the temple at Southern Swamp, so that's what we're going to be doing. But before we do that, there is something that we can get now that I actually forgot about before, so we're going to do that first. It shouldn't take too long. But it's just a heart piece, and I want to grab it because you want to have as much... as many heart pieces available as possible, or heart containers. I forgot that dog does not like me. Why do you hate me so much? I'm just a scrub. I'm just a little Dooku scrub. Leave me alone, man. Leave me alone. Alright. I forgot that you don't want me to go out here unless I have a sword. I have a sword. Let me go. 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 Okay. Alright. Alright. I need magic. I seriously need magic. I seriously need magic. Okay, so. No. We want... bunny hood. There we go. Alright, now we're in business. Now, what we're actually doing is we're looking for holes. Yep, that's it. That's pretty much all we're doing, looking for holes. Because, well, you'll see. You'll see. I don't want to just give anything away. It's not exciting, but there is one over here somewhere. There it is. Alright, so we're over in between where Milk Road is, which is right there where that Takuri is, and he steals your rupees and it's a bad time. And then where the entrance to the Southern Swamp is by the giant log there. So that's the first hole. There's going to be 4 holes that we have to find. So this is the first one. And there's a spider guarding this one. And I don't have the bow yet, so I need to shoot it down with my bubbleness. Oh yeah, I forgot. He's got armor on the front of him. So just time it correctly, shoot him down, and yeah, he's really not that big of a deal. If you look over here, this is the only, I believe it's called Skullwall Tula. It's from the Ocarina of Time. It was a very common item in that game. Yeah, Skullwall Tula. It actually can't hit you because it's in a web over here, so you really don't have to worry about it at all, but it's the only Skullwall Tula in this entire game, and I'm guessing the reason they just put it in there was as homage to the previous game. But if you have the Mask of Truth, which we do not have at this point, but you don't need it to complete this little side quest, basically what you need to do is go stand in front of the larger of the gossip stones here, who we can normally talk to with the Mask of Truth, but we don't have that, so we don't need to worry about that. What we can do is play the Sonata of Awakening, which we just learned from the monkey in the Dooku Palace. There we go. Okay, I was about to think that I forgot it because I keep forgetting the songs. I always forget the songs. I want to play Ocarina of Time songs, and that's just, it's not going to work. It's not going to work. So when you do that, the large one is going to turn green. So there are 4 holes throughout Termina Field, 1 in each compass direction, and obviously once we get all of them to turn the same color, we will get a heart piece. So there's really nothing else to it. You can do it with the Goron Lullaby, which we will get later on in the game. And you can also do it with the New Wave Bossa Nova, which is something that we'll do in the Land of the Zora, something that we'll learn later on. But if you're doing this later in the game, that's just something to look out for. With that being said, I really need magic. No. Stupid choo-choos. I'm not a fan of choo-choos. Not a fan. Not a fan even a little bit. So there should be a hole over here next to this green choo-choo, which actually should give us some more magic. That would be fantastic. Give me magic. Yeah. Oh, and bombs too, which is perfect. But if you have the blast mask, you don't have to ever worry about having bombs. Or very rarely worry about it. Boom. I love this mask so much. A lot of people that I've seen play through this game don't use the blast mask at all, and I don't understand why. Do I have Dooku sticks? Oh, I wanted to show you guys the Dooku stick fairy trick, but I guess that'll have to wait until later because I don't have any Dooku sticks. Could always come back here, I suppose, but I don't know if it's really worth it. What did I want to do? Yeah, we want to be a Dooku. I'm wearing the blast mask. Take that off. Bam. Alright, let's go stand in front of Mr. Giant Gossip Stone and play the Sonata of Awakening. So this is a little bit of a lengthy process because you have to run like all the way around Termina Field, but it's worth it if you want a heart piece that really isn't that difficult to get. I mean, it's a little bit time consuming, but so be it. So as for the time limits on these videos, I know some of you enjoyed the fact that a lot of the episodes have been like 45 minutes so far. I think 25 minutes might be a little bit short. unless we're just doing like little side quests or something. I feel like between a half an hour and 45 minutes for each episode is a good thing to shoot for. I mean, I'm not really positive, on that, but I'm thinking that's what I want to do. So that's what we're doing. That's what we're doing. If you guys have a problem with that, feel free to write in the comment section below. Like, I don't know, just do something different, or I don't really know. Let's go down here. I think this might be another one. Yes, indeed it is. So we'll turn into Dooku Link. I don't know if I actually have to be Dooku Link, but I just like putting on the mask. But at the very least, I'm learning the Sonata of Awakening very much so. So I'm getting it memorized so that when we have to go in the temple, I can just play it. I don't have to like look it up and mess around with my controller and try to figure out how to play it. And I still don't have the audio where I can really hear it, so that is a little bit of an issue because you can't really like tell what notes you're playing. I probably should change that. I've actually mentioned that before and haven't done anything about it because I am a fool. But yeah, so there should be one more hole that we're looking for, and this is the eastern part of Termina Field. Gotta watch out for these real bomb chews, which will just run at you and explode. You can just use your shield though, and as long as you have your shield up, they'll just bounce off and explode away from you, so you won't get hit. But they are pretty fast, so if you're not wearing the bunny hood, I think they actually run faster than you. But here's the other hole up here in the corner by the Astral Observatory. And like I said, most of the time you're going to be doing this later in the game, but I wanted to do this now and get it out of the way. And the only reason you would really know how to do this is, one, if you've played this game before, or if you had the Mask of Truth. And I don't have either, but I'm just doing it anyway. Oops. I just got finished talking about just a few minutes ago about how, oh, I'm never going to forget it, and then I play wrong notes. So there we go, they're all green. It's very foresty and grassy and such. Very all about nature. So there we go, we've got a heart piece, and we actually had 3, so we've assembled a new heart container, and that is the main reason why I wanted to do this right now. There's some other stuff that we can do now to get heart pieces, like mini games and stuff, but I don't really want to do them. I want to wait and see if you guys really want to see a 100% walkthrough before I go ahead and do those, because like the Honey and Darling shop and the Dooku Playground, I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan. Alright, now that we have done that, we can play the Song of Soaring, and we can fly on back to Woodfall, where we can open the temple and get started, because that was really the only other thing I wanted to do in this episode. So I know I said last time that we were going to just head right into the temple, and it's 8 minutes into this video. We have not seen the temple yet, but I just wanted to do that for the extra heart container. So that is that. Now, in one of these pots over here, you should find a fairy. There we go, and a Dooku nut, and maybe a Dooku... Yes, Dooku stick and Dooku nut and a fairy. You can trap that in an empty bottle if you want to take it with you. It's really not that necessary for me, because I better not die with all of the heart containers that I have. I better not. I will be upset if I die anywhere in this temple. I really, really will. It's really not that difficult, and just in general, the temples in this game, while they're pretty awesome, they don't really live up to the temples of Ocarina of Time. What really sets this game apart from the previous game is, one, you have the time limit, so that's always working against you, although you can slow time and make it so it's really not that big of a deal. But what really sets this game apart, other than that, is all of the side quests, because there's like double the heart pieces to get, and just the optional stuff is all over the place, so you have a bunch of different ways that you can play through this game. And wow, it looked like I was not going to make that for a second there. But yeah, there's so many different ways that you can play the game that you can play it, 10 different times and just use different items and different methods and never play it the same way twice. So it keeps it fresh and interesting, and there's actually a surprising amount of replay value for a game that is an adventure game, because normally they don't have a lot of replay value. So we have stray fairies here. We have 15 that we have to get in each temple, so the first one's just kind of chilling there. You can jump off to try to get it. There's nothing down there but black bows, which are enemies that will attack you. They're little like black dot things, and we'll see them later on in the temple. But what we can do is just put on our great fairies mask, which will attract the fairy to us, and it's just a great time. It's just a great time. Oh, another fairy. I don't need fairies though. Not those kinds of fairies. We need the stray fairies. Now, the point of getting the stray fairies is that you get some extra stuff going on. You get some extra stuff. Like extra magic, and just you'll see as we progress through the game how it's not necessary, you know, not necessarily necessary that we get all of the fairies, but it gives us some good stuff. I would get in the habit of knocking these things down because a lot of times there are things that come out that are useful. Like in this case, it was just 5 rupees, and there's all the black bows that I was talking about. But we actually didn't need to come over here at all. It was kind of pointless to do so, so what I actually suggest that you do after getting that first fairy is we can get in this flower here by the door and just fly over this way. We can actually make it to this platform. It doesn't seem like we could, but we actually can, and there should be a fairy in here, if I remember correctly. Yep, so we have 2 fairies already. Notice across the room there are some Skulltulas that are going to come down, and it's going to be a little bit tricky because it looks like we have to fly to that platform from that flower. So what we're going to have to do is try to get ourselves in a position where we can fly right in the middle so that when they come down from the ceiling they don't knock us off the ledge, because then we'll have to start all over, and that will not be a good time at all. So it's not that difficult because you have a pretty decent sized window, but you have to do it kind of sort of just right. Aim for the middle, there we go, they'll come down, you don't have to kill them, they'll just kind of look at you and spin around and, you know, do their usual Skulltula things. We can just go through the door into the next room. Ugh, that stench, this place stinks just like that poison swamp. Well, duh, that's because there's a monster in here and a curse and, you know, all kinds of things. So right below, we'll see some kind of like flower-ish thing, and the water's obviously poisonous. We see torches, there's 2 different levels. We can't get to this area over here yet, so don't worry about that. These little things that look like traps on the water, there's a couple of them around the room. No, stop it, Tattle. If you are swimming in the water as your human form, they will bite you and it will be unfortunate, but you can step on them as Dooku Link, so that's something to keep in mind as well. I see a fairy over there, I see a couple of switches throughout the room, I see a locked door. We have all kinds of things going on. All kinds of things are going on right now, so I suggest you try to fill up on Dooku sticks. Well, not necessarily fill up, there'll be other places in the temple where you can get Dooku sticks, but I suggest getting 1 or 2 at least, because we're gonna have to use fire and they can burn up, so you don't want to just run out and then have to backtrack. So I think I have 3, that should be plenty. Yeah, I got 3. That's enough. We can go down to the left over here, but as you can see, the door is locked. So we need to get a small key first. The only other area that we can go to is this area to the right where there's an unlocked door. First, we need to pick up a stray fairy over here in the pots though, so just jump down, and there we go, the 3rd fairy of the temple. So we are 1/5 of the way there. And we can actually make that jump because Dooku Link is a beast. What do we have here? Just rupees? I don't really need rupees for anything. I don't really need rupees for anything. So in this room, we have all kinds of things happening. See a chest right there that we can't get to, but what we can do is get to this flower. So let's do that. Let's do that. We can actually go to that door straight across the way, but we're going to get that chest first because it is an essential small key. So then we can head back to the first room and go through the room next to the Dukababa. Alright, small key number 1. And actually, before you leave this room, I suggest getting this fairy now, and it's a little bit in kind of just nowhere land over here. Now, if you look up, you'll see that there is a little beehive, so if you go to the edge, you can wait till you get the bow, but you can also just shoot it down with a bubble from right here, take off the Dooku mask, and put on your fairy mask, or your Great Fairy's mask, and that will just allow the fairy to just find you, so it works out better that way. That's a fairy that I tend to forget a lot when playing through this temple, so I wanted to get it now. With that being said, instead of going back to the first room, we have something else that we can do in here by going straight across. This is actually going to be a dead end, but it's a dead end that we want to visit, so yeah, get that rupee. Get that rupee! We go through the door, and we see snappers. There's 3 of them. It's a snapper. The way these things move, they never expose the weak part of their body. Now, there are a couple ways to defeat these things, as we've seen them in the Woods of Mystery. as soon as you move, they'll see you, and it's going to be an unfortunate time. And they spin around, and it's craziness. You can get in these Dooku flowers, and just jump out as they're over top of you, and it will instantly kill them. So that's pretty cool. Another way you can do this is with bombs, and bombs are a little bit tricky, so I actually suggest using the blast mask. Like that, and then it'll... take off the blast mask. No. Okay, don't take off the blast mask. There we go. Takes 3 slices. You can actually do a jump attack too. I think that kills him in 1 hit. But I thought he was going to flip back over, and I was not happy about that. I actually prefer the blast mask because it's just easier. It's just easier for me. It might be easier for you to just hide safely in the Dooku flowers and then just jump up when you need to, but I don't know. I don't know, it's up to preference. It's one of those things. And you can actually just use regular bombs too if you really wanted to, but it's kind of hard to get them to blow up at the right time and that kind of thing. So with that being said, we can open the big treasure chest that appears in the center of the room, and it's going to give us the dungeon map. So we can see what rooms we've visited and where we are in the dungeon and all of that stuff. With that being said, we can move on out and head back to the room that we started in. If we can get over there. Bam. Wow, I thought I wasn't going to make that for a second. That's why I got really quiet. I was like, no drowning today. No drowning. Not in poisonous water. That just sounds painful. So we're going to work our way back to this side of the room right here. And we want to kill this Dooku. Make sure you kill him because he does have the... a stray fairy that only appears after you kill him. We can go through here with our locked key, yes, our small key will open the locked door. That's what I was trying to say. So this room is kind of interesting. We've got things going on all over the place. There's an upper level, and a locked door, some torches, and a lit torch over there that you can't see that's guarded by a skull tool, and a big block thing that we should probably move out of the way. So first things first, I suggest jumping over here, and, no, not necessarily here. We want to go to the other side. There we go. Alright, you can't push this block as Dooku Link. This looks pretty light. Well, don't just stand there. So we're going to just turn into a human, and that will allow us to push it out of the way. That way, we can run across here with ease. And the reason I want to do that is because, again, we see more beehives, so you want to shoot them down. The second one actually has killer bees in it, and I'll show you that, because why not? Come out, bees. Oh, I missed. I missed! I thought I was, like, dead on with my magic bubble action. These things are actually really easy to defeat. You can Z-target them if you really want to. That's a giant bee. Oh, not killer bee, giant bee. You can either fight or run, it's up to you. Well, you can just slice it and it dies. It's one of the easiest enemies in the entire game. But with that being said, there is another little thingy up there, beehive, which does not have any giant bees in it. Oh, I thought I missed. But it has a fairy. And there's actually 3 fairies in this room. So we're going to want to make sure that we get all of them. Actually, it's easier to kill these things as Dooku Link. I don't know what I'm doing. Bam! It's actually much easier once we get the bow because it actually shoots through their armor, but we haven't gotten that yet. Another weird thing is that if you've ever played this game, these moths have been really annoying. Because when you get a Dooku stick, it will follow your flame. So if you're trying to carry the Dooku stick around, they'll follow you, and it's really annoying because they actually hurt you when they run into you. But you can actually kill these things. A lot of players of this game don't know that you can actually kill them. You can kill them with bombs. And the bomb mask is blast mask is the easiest way to do this. Bam! They're dead, they're gone. Sometimes they will come back, but you can just kill them again, and that's pretty much all there is to it. Yeah, they're just pieces of them falling all over the place, and I love watching them be dead. Because they are seriously, seriously annoying, especially if you get hit with them when you're trying to run across this and they knock you off. That is not fun. So you want to light this torch right here, and you have more than enough time to make it. I suggest putting your Dooku stick away immediately. Actually, this is an optional room because this gets us the compass. But we're going to do it. The only thing we have to do is kill these 2 dragonflies. And the easiest way to do that is with a Dooku bubble. Okay, okay. Maybe it's not easy after all. But they do die in one hit to that. And they don't even die in one hit to your sword strikes. So that's kind of crazy. I always thought that was a little bit weird. Oh, I'm surprised that actually hit you. I feel like that definitely missed. But anyway, we're going to get a giant chest appearing here. And that will give us the compass, which shows us where treasure chests and things like that are in the dungeon. So like I said, not necessary by any means, but it's a cool thing to have. Figured I would show it. I need magic. I've been using bubbles like crazy. I really need to get some magic. But when we come out, everything kind of comes back. We see the moths are over there, and the Skulltulas over there, and it's just a whole big thing. We don't need to knock down anything at this point. Notice that there is a fairy under here that we can't get yet. So we'll be back for that. But not now. We're going to light our torch, and you can actually put on the bunny hood to make this a little bit easier to make sure that you actually reach this. Yeah, there we go. There are the moths. I hate these things. I hate these things. I hate these things. I hate these things. I need the blast mask. Bam! I just want to watch you die. I don't know why I enjoy that so much. It's a little bit creepy, but I do. I do. I just want them dead. I want them dead. You can get more Dooku sticks because these things just keep reappearing. So that's pretty cool. If you're running low on those... Wow, I almost just jumped over that platform. Is there anything else I need to get in here? There's nothing in those pots over there that... well, there might be magic. I kind of need magic, so let's do that. Let's do that! Heart... Rupee... Nothing exciting. Nothing particularly exciting. But we can't... Oh, I might as well just stock up on a little bit more of Dooku sticks and such. Why not? Why not? Doesn't hurt. We're going to need them in this next room anyway. Because there's going to be darkness everywhere. Be careful, I sense a lot of evil here. And by evil, she means black bows. And it's dark in here and you can't really see them except for their eyes. So the easiest thing to do is turn into a Dooku and just spin all over the place because you will kill them on contact. So actually, another method that you can use is just to use the spin attack. The quick spin, because it doesn't use any magic at all if you don't take the time to charge it up. So that's cool. You'll know when they're all defeated because a treasure chest with a fairy will appear. I see your little evil eyes. I see them. I hate these things. There has to be more. There has to be more because I don't see any treasure chests. Where are you, evil? Evil black bows. I hear you, but I don't see you. Oh, geez, there's a lot more. Okay. Was that it? No, there's more. There's more. There's more evil. Where could the evil be hiding? Where could the evil be hiding? There you are. There's the evil. Okay. Was that the last one? Nope. It's still not the last one. I've never spent so much time trying to look for these things. Where are you? Where are you, Black Bow? There you are. I see your eyes. I see your eyes. There we go. Finally. Okay, that took a really long time. I had to, like, stop and concentrate there for a minute because I was getting kind of flabbergasted by the fact that I couldn't find them. But there is a chest with a fairy, so you want to make sure that you defeat all of them before actually exiting this room. Now, the door is locked where we need to go, so I suggest... Well, not a suggest. You pretty much have to do this. You got to get a Dooku stick, put on your bunny hood, and just run across the... Or not run across, but run around the perimeter of the room. There are 3 torches. You can make it easily with the bunny hood. You can make it easily without the bunny hood. I just like running fast. I just like the bunny hood, man. I just like the bunny hood. This brings us to an interesting room where if you fall down these holes down here, you will actually fall into the lobby room. So that's not a fun time because then you'll have to work your way back up here, and that's not fun. And falling itself isn't really something that happens too often, but these dragonflies can be a real pain, and you don't have any way to shoot them other than the Dooku bubble. And yeah. So we're gonna try to not get hit by these guys if possible. So I suggest trying to fly over in the corner over here because they really won't be able to get you as easily. They can still get you, but it's a little bit more difficult for them to do so. And he should come over to try to get us. Come on, you know you want to. You know you want to. I can't reach that far. There's no way I can reach that far. Alright, we don't have any range. We have no range. I'm actually going to try to just go. That may be a huge mistake, but I'm going to go for it. Can we make it? It looks like we can. Alright, so we're in good shape here, because this will pretty much just take us over to that last little section over there. There's no fairies in this room, so don't worry about going down and destroying all the grass and trying to look for stuff, and it's just not worth it. There's no fairies down there, and that would be the only reason that we would go down there in the first place, is because we like fairies. We like saving the fairies. It just pretty much just takes you directly where we need to go. And the dragonfly should leave you alone as long as you're at the end of that platform's path. So with that being said, this is going to take us back into the lobby room, as I mentioned, except we are on the second level in the area where we could not reach before. So there's a couple things that we can do, one of which being stepping on this switch right here, and that's going to create ladders, which are shortcuts. We don't have to go through all of that again should we fall down. And that is great. That is absolutely great. Now we can't do much else in this room right now. Yeah, there's just really not that much else that we can do. So, I mean, we could get that fairy, but we're going to come back over here later, so that is the thing. Our goal will eventually be to go through this door, but we can't do that yet either. So we actually need to get the dungeon item first before we even think about doing anything else. So going through here is our only bet. This door is off limits because we can't get there yet. Well, I guess we could. If we use the Dooku flower. Well, actually no, now that I think about it, I don't know if it'll reach over there. It may not. No, we need to hit that eye switch first, but we need the bow before we can do any of that. And we don't have that. But we're about to change that. We're about to change the whole not having a bow thing. As we enter this room, we're about to get into a fight. A fight indeed. The Dinofols. Classic Zelda enemy. Don't you know about the Dinofols? Use targeting methods while defending and watch out for its fiery breath. So it has a sword, it's pretty acrobatic, it will jump all over the place, and it has fiery breath very similar to the Dodongo, except this thing is way more mobile. And it can do a number on you. Its attacks don't do that much damage, but it can be difficult to hit at times. So you can actually stun it with the Dooku mask, but I'm not going to be doing that. I'm just going to be fighting it as Link. Most of the time, yeah, see, like that, even when you're defending, his sword is long enough to where it can go through your shield sometimes if he's close enough to you. Thought he was going to breathe fire right there. And most of the time, he'll just jump out of the way if you try to go for a jump attack, so I suggest going for spin attacks when he does that because you have a longer range. Oh, I can't even see what you're doing. Can't even see what you're doing. One suggestion that I do have, though, is to stay away from the Dooku mask because, oh wow, he died very quickly. He died very quickly, and he diffused through the wall. That was interesting. That was really interesting. One suggestion I do have for this fight is to not use the Dooku mask, because if he breathes fire on you, you have to start all over again, because you're weak to fire. You're a little scrub. You're a little flower. They don't like fire. So, yeah, just stay out of the Dooku for him. You should be able to defeat him pretty quickly, and we're going to get the hero's bow for our troubles. And we start off with a quiver that can hold 30 arrows, so that should be more than enough for right now. And the first thing that we want to do is hit that eye switch. We should be all stocked up on arrows. I don't know if it actually comes with 30 because I just got some, but anyway, kind of get the hang of it. It's not that difficult to maneuver. My controller's a little bit touchy, so I have trouble with it sometimes. But you need to shoot that eye switch. That will enable the little Dooku flower platform that was on the lower level to rise up and down, and that means that we can get into that room across the way, which we do have to go into because it's another important item that we're going to need for the end of the temple. We can actually continue on past this point, but we'll eventually have to come back anyway to get this because we can't complete the dungeon without it. So make sure you do this now so you don't have to backtrack, because that would just be unfortunate. That would be unfortunate. Alright, so we have some kind of weird frog thing that we have to fight. So So we can't get out, we do have to fight him. His name is Gecko, and it's pretty angry, he's pretty weak too, it really shouldn't be making a fool of you. This first stage of the battle is very easy. He's very slow, and he just punches apparently at nothing. What are you punching at? Just jump attack him. That'll do a good amount of damage. You have to slash him twice. You slash him a third time, or twice with the jump attack. He'll call out a snapper and then ride on it, rodeo style. And we remembered from earlier on how to defeat this thing. The easiest way is to get into a Dooku flower, because this is easier than bombs for this fight, I think. It's not going to kill the snapper, but it will give you arrows, and the Gecko's going to just go up on the screen and suggest you Z-target him and wait for him to stop moving, and then fire an arrow at him. Like so. Or you could just rapid fire, because you have enough to be able to do that. And then, if you're standing by a Dooku flower, you can just get in, and he'll just come right over your flower, and you can just repeat the process like this. It's going to take 3 hits. So it really shouldn't be that difficult. And every time you do this as well, why can I not hit you? There we go. Every time you just knock him off the snapper, it'll give you arrows, so you shouldn't run out. Bam! There's more arrows. I kind of need them. Back up to 30, and where did he go? This guy's creepy. He makes creepy sounds, too. After the 3rd hit, he will fall off and turn into a normal frog, which is kind of strange, but this is actually something that pertains to a side quest that we can't do at this point because we don't have the right mask, and we won't be getting it for a while. So it'll actually have to wait. We get the mask that we need for this side quest after this temple, actually. In between this temple and the next temple, but we don't have access to the other frogs that we need to have access to in order to complete the side quest. You guys will just find out later. So this treasure chest looks a little bit different, and that's because it is the boss key. There's a bunch of rupees in here too. Apparently 25 in each of those pots. I like that. I don't think that was luck. I think that's just what it is every time. But yeah, these bluish, yellowish themed treasure chests are always the boss key. So that means we can enter the boss room. It takes a special key. It takes a special key to enter the boss room. So don't worry about the frog, just run right on by him and we can go back to the original room. It doesn't matter if you want to jump down at this point, because on the other side of that door we can just climb up the ladders, but I would prefer to stay on the 2nd level since that's where we have to be. In fact, we have to be right outside this door, so it makes more sense to just do this. Now that we have the bow, we can actually, no, stop. We can actually light this torch right here, which Tattle is trying to be all sneaky about and I don't know, trying to draw our attention over there. But we need to shoot an arrow through the fire just above like that to light that torch, and it will actually activate this flower. It's some kind of mechanism. I don't know how it would run all of that, but the poison water actually disappears. So that is something cool. That is something cool indeed. Now it's spinning all over the place, and I just don't even understand what's happening. I don't understand what's happening. But one thing that I would like to do, because there is a switch over here, so we're going to get in that Dooku flower and we can fly right on over. We might actually even be able to make that jump with the bunny hood, but it's an awkward angle. So I don't even want to mess with that. We step on the switch, it's going to make a little chest appear back at the first door, so that is something that we have to get. And we can get this fairy as well. Get the Great Fairy's mask out and make sure that it comes to us. Oops. Oops. Come on, little fairy. Alright, how many do we have? We have 9, so we actually only need 6 more, and if you remember, there was one that was in the water that we could not get before, so we're gonna go get that right now. And I believe it was through this locked door right here. If I remember correctly, which I may not be remembering correctly. Nope, this is the one. So just hop on over here. Now that we have the bow, this is gonna be very easy. You could try to swim under there, but it's really awkward to do that, and I've actually drowned under there, so we're not going to do that. We're just going to try to aim so where we can pop that bubble, like so, and Great Fairy's mask, bam. So that's going to be 10 out of the 15 fairies that we need for this temple. And we're about to get the 11th one as well, because we did not open that chest that was activated by the switch. We should do that right now before we do anything else. Die, die, die. I don't need more Dooku sticks, but why not? Why not? Alright, so we got 11. Now, the next part is a little tricky. We're going to try to shoot an arrow onto this torch over here. But we have to shoot it through this spinning thing. And that's not exactly the easiest thing in the world to do. I don't know if I'm going to get that. No, I'm a little bit high. A little bit high. Sometimes I get this on the first try, but it usually takes me a couple. Usually takes me a couple. Wow, that hit it square on. I didn't get it high enough, I guess. That was a little bit lame, I'm not gonna lie. Wow, okay. Well, it's a good thing I had a lot of arrows. It's a good thing I had a lot of arrows, because apparently this is gonna take a while. There we go, okay, perfect. Only took a couple of tries. So that's not too bad. So we gotta wait for it to go back around again. So now we can enter that door that we have not been to yet. And how are we doing on time? We're about 35 minutes into this episode. And this is the last room. This is the last room. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to finish this room, get to the boss door, and we will start the boss in the next episode. That sounds good. That sounds good to me. So there's a bunch of things we can do in here. A bunch of fairies as well. First things first, you want to get rid of all these spiders that are chilling on the ceiling. If I can aim my freaking bow. There we go. Yeah, there's 3 of them. Oh, I thought there was 4. I wasted an arrow for no reason. There are going to be 4 fairies in here. So you can try to kill these things too, because you can kill them in one shot with the bow, but it's a little bit difficult to aim it. Wow, that was the worst shot of my life. That was the worst shot of my life. That was the worst shot of my life. There we go. Okay, we wasted all of our arrows. But we can just jump on down. You can jump over here to get to your 20 rupees if you really wanted to, but I don't think that's necessary at all. Don't waste all your arrows, though. You do need at least a couple arrows to get through this room, so yeah. Good thing I didn't use all of them. Here's another fairy. Night of the first day. 13th, so we got 2 more, and they're both in this room, so that actually is really good for us. Oh, there is arrows in here, okay. Okay, fine, I spoke too soon. I see another fairy across the way, so here's number 14. Bam! We can just jump down after this because we don't need to be here. For some reason I thought that was actually gonna hurt, but it did not. We did not take any damage from that fall whatsoever. There's nothing else over here that we can do. No treasure chest, no enemies. Nothing. Nothing, nothing, nothing. So we're already done with this temple. For some reason I thought it took just about an hour, but it turns out that it's not going to take that long at all. So what you need to do here is not go into that flower yet. You need to shoot this little thingamajiggy, this little diamond switch from across the way. That will activate and get rid of the fire patches that are on these columns. And one of them has a Dooku flower, so that's why it's important. Kind of need that. We kind of need that. Oh, was I not supposed to do that? I don't think I was supposed to do that. Oh, I made it. Okay. I thought I was going in the water and I was going to drown, and it was going to be an unfortunate time. Don't land on that pillar. It's a trap. It is a trap because you can't make any jumps from there. But no, jump out of there before the fire starts. Up again, Link. You do have a time limit for that, so if the fire goes back on when you're still a Dooku Scrub, you'll have to start the room all over, and all the enemies will be back, and it'll just be not a fun time. Not a fun time at all. These pillars with the 20 rupees, you can land on them, but there's really no point because you're going to have to jump down and do it all over again. What do you have? Nothing. Nothing. Alright, so we have the boss key and we are ready to enter the boss room, but I'm going to call it an episode here because we're almost at the 40-minute mark. So next time we will defeat the boss. We will hopefully save the princess. We have at least 1 mask that I want to get. There's some things that we can do after the swamp is cleared of its troubles and its curse that we will be releasing after defeating the boss. So that's all things that are on the agenda, but that's it for this time. I want to thank you all for watching, as always, and if you have not done so already, please show some support to this channel and the series by clicking that thumbs up button right below this video. It does really help out a lot, and of course, I always appreciate your support. So, I will see you all for the next episode, but until then, game on.